Today, we're going to be covering specifically how to shoot your sample audio before you go and load it into 11 Labs. So make sure you watch this whole video because we're going to be going over exactly how to record that audio before you jump into your 11 Labs account and start creating your professional voice video clone. So first and foremost, we need some microphones. We need some good quality microphones. Now, I'm going to show you guys our recommended options, okay? Now, the first one, I think this is going to be perfect for a majority of you, and it's what we are using and what I even have, is this DJI Mic 2. We will leave links for our recommended setups and mics. They will be down below, so you can go and take a look. But this one, this DJI Mic 2, is going to be a great option for most of you. And what you'll see when you get this in the mail is it's basically going to send you this little receiver right here, and I'll enlarge myself here in a moment, and the actual microphone part. And I'll show you guys here in a minute how to actually set that up for yourself to get the best quality recording for you. Now, if you have more of a budget and you maybe are going to be using like a good microphone for different business purposes, you may want to consider grabbing one of the Shure microphones. This is what I'm shooting from here right now. Now, this isn't as versatile as the DJI Mic 2 is because you're going to have to connect this directly to your computer, as opposed to DJI Mic 2, we can connect it directly to our iPhone and get our audio. Now, obviously, the Shure microphones are going to be a lot more expensive, so I don't think it's absolutely necessary unless you're planning to do more stuff with it that is not necessarily related to your clone. I think this is a perfect microphone for you guys that you can even use outside of just creating your clone, and that is the DJI Mic 2, and we will leave a link. Now, with that said, how do we actually set this thing up? So let me save you some headaches that I have faced over the years with this microphone, especially when I got it. So when you originally get it, you're going to basically get a few pieces, right? Obviously the microphone right here, it has a nice little clip end to it, and you can clip this right onto you, right? So I'll clip this right onto my shirt here. And what we're looking for is about 6 inches away from your face, right? Because if we put it too close, it's going to sound too muffled. If it's too far, it's just not going to give us that good quality audio. So you want just about 6 inches, okay? Now, if you don't have like a collared shirt like I have here, if you have a dress or you just have a different placement for this, right? These do come with like a magnet attachment to that, right? So you can it has like a little magnet here. So what you can actually do, right, is you can magnet it to like your dress or wherever, right? So right here, you can see I have used it as a magnet, and I can, move this around if I need to, but you can see it's just hanging on my shirt just like that with the actual magnet piece, okay? So whether you're wearing a dress or a shirt, obviously you're going to be good with the microphone. And again, about 6 inches away is going to be a perfect distance for you, as long as you're speaking in a normal tone like I am right now. Next, you're going to have a receiver piece with this, okay? And this receiver is what is going to connect into your device, into your iPhone. Now, it's going to come with this little attachment here, okay? And this attachment is what, right, gets plugged into your actual iPhone, right? Which is going to override the default microphone. Now, when you're plugging this in, right, you're going to take this little thing and you're going to push it. And you have to use way more force than you would think on a device like this, right? So don't just like that. No, you got to... This is probably like 10 pounds of force pushing this thing down into it, and make sure it clips in there nicely, and you'll see it'll be nice and flat here, just like that. Now, one other thing, depending on your phone case, most likely your phone case will not be able to attach this. At least mine can't. So I have to take my case off, right? And then I plug this thing in and make sure, obviously, it clips in there. Now, once that is done, you want to make sure you test this thing out, okay? So open up like your video camera app or voice memo app. It doesn't necessarily, matter. I would just recommend just getting the open up the camera and the video. And now you have overridden your audio. So what you can actually do is click record and just talk. Just talk, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, 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 right? And then once you're done that, click, stop the recording on your phone, and then open up the actual file that you just recorded. Now, if you click play, you're probably not going to hear anything at all, right? And that, right, the reason for that is because of this thing. So what you want to do is then unplug it, right? And then you're going to be able to play your audio and make sure that it's working, okay? Just make sure it's working. Now, if you turn it, you unplug this and you're not able to hear any audio at all, you obviously have a tech issue, right? So make sure, troubleshoot, right? Just like we showed, clip this in fully, right? Plug it in, make sure it's fully clipped in, make sure everything is turned on, right? Everything is charged up correctly for you. Because again, before you go in and start recording your sample audio, the last thing we want to do is record a bunch of audio and then you are stuck having to re-record it because of some tech issues. Okay, so just make sure you get all your ducks in order right there and just test out your audio. Now, once you have all this set up and tested, now we're ready. Now we are ready to start, right, shooting our actual sample audio. So I have a few notes here that I want to share with you, and they are important. Okay, number one, obviously we already covered using a good quality microphone, right? But secondly, make sure you are recording in the same environment. Now, this environment, it should be quiet. No background noise, no multiple speakers, no filler words. Do your best, right? With your ums and your ahs, right? Try to provide a single clean voice throughout, okay? Now, how do we do this? Well, I would recommend not being next to like windows and stuff like that. I don't know about you, but the mailman comes, they come mowing the lawn, right? There's a hard wind, there's a tree right next to it, and it's creating all of these distractions. It's potentially creating all this noise. Look for vents in your house. Like I have a vent right there, which, when the heat turns on, like I can hear it, right? Which if I can hear it, this thing's going to pick it up a little bit, right? So find spaces in your house where you can get nice and quiet. A basement, a walk-in closet would be a great spot for this as well. But the thing is, for all of your audio sessions, you want to make sure you are in the same environment, okay? That is absolutely critical. That way we are providing the 11 Labs with one concise location and not different, different sound, right? Because that's going to really end up hurting our clone more than helping. So you want to make sure whatever environment you're going to do this on, you stay there to do your full audio clone, okay? Your next question probably is, how much time do I need to record? How much length? Well, we do recommend at least 30 to 45 minutes of clear, nice audio. Now, you can break this up. You don't have to shoot this 45 minutes of audio in one single setting, unless you are totally comfortable doing that, right? And if maybe you're a public speaker and you can do that, that's fantastic. But for a lot of people, you may struggle with talking about something for, 30, 45 minutes at a time. So my recommendation, right, is break it up into 3 to 5 minute chunks, right? And think about things that you are passionate and you can talk about for 3 to 5 minutes at a time, okay? Some ideas for you, obviously talk about your business, right? Talk about your products, talk about your services, talk about your wins, talk about your losses, right? Anything that you are passionate about that lets that enthusiasm kind of come out and have your clone, what you want your clone to actually speak like, okay? If you really are struggling, one idea that I always share with others that are struggling with maybe coming up with what to talk about is simply talk about, maybe there's a movie that you've seen 100 times or a couple movies I'm sure a lot of us have, right? Just talk about that, right? Talk about the movie from A to Z, right? Talk about past events, talk about a family vacation that you went on, right? There are plenty of experiences that you have that you can be, jazzed up and talking about for a 3 to 5 minute window. Now, again, doesn't necessarily matter what you're saying, right? It's that you're just portraying in a good, clear way. Now, if you are, big asterisk here, right? If you are going to use the V3 model of 11 Labs, right? And you want the most hyper realistic results with your audio clone, 2 hours of audio is ideal. So you will need to make sure you set aside that time to do that, okay? And again, in the same environment, same microphone, same setting, okay? But you will need to do at least 2 hours of audio to really take advantage of that, okay? Now, when you're shooting, you want to make sure you include a mix of, neutral narration, conversational kind of speech, and light emotional delivery, right? The way I like to look at it is like, talk as if you were how you want your clone to talk, right? And you've seen me even here talking, right? Now, sometimes I'm a little bit more excited about something, or sometimes just talking a little bit more normally how I want to talk, right? This is going to help a lot with your pitch and your tone, how the algorithm is going to be able to put it together for you, leveraging 11 Labs, okay? So you want to have a good mixture in there. Another big thing is if you have any kind of negative phrases or sayings that you naturally use, right? Like, for example, Anik, you probably heard Anik say plenty of times, when life pushes you back, stand straight up, smile, and push it the heck back, right? Say that within your recordings as well, at least 4 to 5 times, because that's going to be something that your clone is constantly saying anyway. So being able to grab that is perfect, right? So make sure you include any of those kind of phrases that you use very commonly, or lingo that you use in your business. Make sure to say those repetitive phrases repetitively in your audio, okay? Now, what you also want to do is leave short silences. 1 to 1.5 seconds is perfectly fine between paragraphs, just like I did right there, right? So you want to make sure you do that. Now, it doesn't have to be after every single sentence, after every single paragraph. Once you've kind of got a thought out, you want to do a quick little pause, right? Just like I did right there for you, right? That's going to help break up the audio and for the algorithm 11 Labs to get a lot better quality for you, okay? Avoid shouting, screaming, whispering, or singing unless, right? Again, these are all asterisks depending on what your business needs are and what your clone needs are, right? But this is you, unless you're singing and stuff and you want your voice to sound, like that permanently, sure. Absolutely. And of course, you can always, if there's like a specific case for you, obviously let us know in the circle community, make a post and we'll make sure to get that question answered for you. But for a majority of us, avoid screaming, right? Avoid, just taking little whispers, right? And singing, okay? If you want your clone to express specific emotions as well, guys, look, high energy, right? Being excited, joy, right? Intensity, calmness, right? Make sure that those emotions are clearly expressed with your sample, right? I've said it a few times throughout this. I'm going to keep repeating it. Talk as if how you want your clone to specifically talk, while also giving different kinds of tonality and variations, okay? I can't stress that enough, right? That's going to give the variety to your clone, especially when you do different sorts of content, right? And always use professional voice cloning, guys, not instant cloning. That is going to be a quick little 2-minute thing, and it's just not going to give you the results that you're specifically looking for. So if there's any questions about shooting your sample audio, please let us know in the Circle community or in the office hours. We're on standby here to help you out.